You are listening to Beyond the Twilight Constellation. The signal arrived on a Tuesday. It was not loud. It was not demanding. It was a whisper across the void. It traveled for longer than humanity had known writing. The pulse came from a place we had never looked. A dead zone between galaxies. A patch of sky considered utterly empty. Yet the message came. And it was terrifyingly clear. It spoke of a darkness, a hunger that swept through the stars. It did not use words. It used mathematics, the pure language of reality. The equations showed extinction events. They graphed the fall of civilizations, all on a chillingly precise timeline, a pattern of cosmic annihilation. And our star system was next. At first, the experts thought it was a fluke, a background radiation echo, a stellar remnant singing its swan song. But the pattern was too perfect, too deliberate. It was a warning, sent by someone or something. The message ended with a single, unmistakable plea, a desperate hope painted in numbers. Prepare. Humanity had forgotten the art of war. Our great fleets were relics, museum pieces orbiting silent moons. They were monuments to a past we had outgrown, or so we believed. The threat was deemed credible. The math was undeniable. The silent, sleeping giants had to be awakened. An order was given. The ghost ships would fly again. Humanity's forgotten sword would be unsheathed. You stand on the observation deck of Starbase Prime. The silent fleet hangs in the void before you. Dozens of grand vessels, each a city in its own right. They are dark, coated in the dust of a peaceful century. Their engines are cold, their halls are empty. They are ghost ships in every sense, maintained only by automated systems. A klaxon sounds, low and resonant. It is a sound your generation has only read about. The awakening protocol has begun. Lights flicker across the lead dreadnought, the Indomitable. One by one, its systems come online. Ancient fusion reactors hum to life. Their thrum vibrates through your deck plating. It is the sound of a waking giant. Crews scramble to their posts, men and women pulled from civilian life. Star traders and asteroid miners, engineers who had never seen a weapon. Now they are the crew of humanity's last hope. They move with a grim purpose. The simulators had been brutal, but the real thing is something else entirely. Seeing these ghost ships breathe again, it is both magnificent and dreadful. The fleet is old but strong. Its armor is thick. Its primary cannons were designed to crack small moons. A forgotten sword, forged for a forgotten age of titans. Now it is pointed toward a new darkness. A threat that does not fight for territory or ideology. A threat that fights only to consume. And as the last ship's engines ignite, a new signal appears. It is close, and it is not a recording. The new signal is weak, faint, like a tired voice calling from across a great distance. It originates from the edge of our system, near the icy expanse of the Oort cloud. It is a hailing frequency, an invitation. The fleet, now fully awake, adjusts its course. Humanity is about to make first contact, under the shadow of a galactic executioner. Your vessel, the Pathfinder, approaches the source. It is not a ship in any way you understand. It is a lattice of light and crystal, a shimmering, almost invisible thing. It seems to hurt your eyes if you stare too long. It is beautiful, and it is profoundly damaged. Great, dark gaps exist in its crystalline structure. It bleeds a soft, golden light into the void. The aliens appear on your main view screen. They are not physical beings, not in a way you can comprehend. They are forms of pure energy, shifting, swirling patterns of light contained within faintly humanoid fields. You can feel their presence in your mind, a gentle pressure, a sense of immense age and sorrow. They are the senders of the warning. They call themselves the Luminous. Their voice is not sound. It is a chorus of thoughts, feelings, concepts. They speak of their long, losing war. They show you images, worlds turned to gray dust, stars extinguished like candles. They show you the enemy, the world breakers. And for the first time, you understand true fear, a fear that chills you deeper than the cold of space. The Luminous show you everything, their history, their flight, their desperation. They ran for millennia, always one step ahead of the Devourers. They are the last of their kind. Their final act is this plea, this offering of knowledge. They cannot fight anymore, but they can give us the tools to do so. Their final hope rests on a species of loud, short-lived creatures. Creatures who still remembered how to build warships. The world breakers are revealed. The images from the Luminous burn into your mind. They are not alive in the way you know life. They are biomechanical, a fusion of flesh and machine, a swarm of self-replicating locusts. They travel in colossal arcs, ships that blot out the stars. These are not vessels. They are organisms. Each arc is a hive, a mobile ecosystem of destruction. When they arrive at a world, they deploy smaller forms, scuttling horrors that burrow into the planet's crust. They consume everything: rock, metal, water, biomass. They convert it all into fuel, and into more of themselves. The process is brutally efficient. A planet is stripped bare in a matter of weeks. You watch a time lapse, a vibrant blue-green world, much like Earth. The swarm descends, a gray plague covering the surface. The oceans boil away. The continents crack and crumble. The planet is eaten from the inside out, until nothing remains but a hollow, lifeless husk. The swarm then moves on, leaving cosmic silence in its wake. There's no negotiation, no surrender. There is only consumption. The Luminous explain the horror of their enemy. The world breakers do not think as individuals. They are a single, collective consciousness, a gestalt mind driven by one impulse: to feed, to grow, to assimilate all matter, all energy. They are a galactic plague, and they have tasted our region of space. They have our scent. They are coming. The silent fleet seems very small now. The Luminous offer their gift. It is a pact, an alliance born of shared desperation. They cannot build ships or fire weapons. Their energy forms are too fragile. But they possess a knowledge of physics that borders on magic. They can manipulate reality in ways we can barely imagine. They offer to merge their technology with ours. The proposal is terrifying. They want to integrate their consciousness-based systems with our fleet, to fuse the minds of our pilots and captains with their ships. This fusion would grant incredible advantages: instantaneous communication, reaction times limited only by the speed of thought, the ability to push our technology far beyond its designed limits. Our ships would become extensions of our own bodies. But the cost is high. The fusion is permanent. A human mind linked to a luminous core would be forever changed. Part of them would always be one with the machine, with the alien consciousness. It is an unholy alliance, a melding of flesh and energy, of solid matter and ethereal thought. The debate on your ship and across the fleet is fierce. Is survival worth sacrificing a part of our humanity? Many argue against it. They call it a surrender of the soul, a violation of what it means to be human. They say it is better to fight and die as ourselves. But others see the cold logic, the brutal math of the situation. The world breakers are coming. Our conventional fleet, even awakened, stands little chance. We need an edge, any edge. The Council of Captains votes. The decision is nearly unanimous. The alliance is forged. The fusion will begin. The forges of the fleet's engineering bays burn day and night. But they are not shaping metal. They are shaping thought. The Luminists teach our engineers a new kind of creation, how to build devices that channel psionic energy. The process is bizarre. It involves deep meditation, complex geometric visualization, and a connection to the ship's new crystalline core. The first prototypes are rifles. They look like art, gleaming silvery weapons with no visible power source, no ammunition port. They are completely silent. The Luminists explain that the rifles are amplifiers. They take a focused thought from the user, a command of pure intent, and convert it into a wave of solidified sound, a concussive blast that can shatter biomechanical armor. You are chosen to test one. You hold the Echo rifle. It feels warm, almost alive in your hands. You stand before a captured piece of world-breaker armor, a chunk of the material salvaged from the wreckage of their scout vessel. It is impossibly dense. Your instructor, a luminous projection, guides you. Do not think of firing a gun, it whispers in your mind. Think of a bell, a perfect single note. Now, ring it. You focus. You imagine a pure, resonant tone. A wave of force erupts from the rifle. There is no sound, no flash. But the air shimmers. The target armor cracks. It splinters. It dissolves into a fine gray powder. The power is breathtaking and deeply unsettling. You have weaponized a concept, fired an idea. Every soldier in the fleet will be armed with these new, strange weapons. Forging them is not just manufacturing. It is an act of will, a blip on the long-range sensors. Far out, near the orbit of Tartarus, the system's outermost gas giant. It is a small signature, but it moves with unnatural speed, and a purpose that is cold and clear. A scout force of the world breakers has arrived. They have breached the outer defenses. The time for training is over. The first test is here. The fleet moves to intercept. A vanguard of our fastest ships, the newly christened Echo-class destroyers. Your ship is among them. The fusion has taken place. Your mind is now linked to the Pathfinder. You feel its sensors as your own eyes, its engines as your own heart. The ship responds to your commands before you can even speak them. You are one. The enemy comes into view. 3 vessels, small by their standards, but still larger than your destroyer. They look like jagged shards of obsidian, insects carved from dead rock and metal. There is no communication, no warning shots. They simply open fire. Lances of corrosive energy spit through the void. They move with a coordinated grace that is terrifying. A predator's dance. Your new instincts scream. You throw the Pathfinder into a maneuver you never trained for. A wild, impossible corkscrew. A volley of acid green energy passes where you were moments before. You feel the heat of its passage on your ship's skin. You return fire. Not with missiles, but with thought. The main cannons, now tied to the luminous core, unleash waves of pure force. The battle for the Tartarus anomaly has begun. The fight is a whirlwind of instinct and light. Your mind races, processing targeting solutions, evasive maneuvers, damage reports, all in a single fluid stream of consciousness. You are no longer just a pilot. You are the ship. The luminous presence in your mind is a calm anchor, guiding, suggesting, warning. Bank left. Their port weapon is cycling. You see a friendly ship, the stalwart, take a direct hit. Its shields flare and die. The corrosive energy eats into its hull. You feel a distant echo of the crew's panic. A spike of shared fear across the new mental network. Then you feel a surge of defiant rage. From another captain, the Valiant charges forward, its echo cannons blazing, tearing a chunk from one of the World Breaker ships. You find your own target. You focus all your will, pouring intent into the Pathfinder's primary weapon. You think of a shattering, a breaking, a piercing. A beam of white-hot energy lances out. It strikes the enemy vessel at a weak point, a joint in its biomechanical shell. The ship convulses. It breaks apart, not with a fiery explosion, but like a dying insect. It silently shatters into a million pieces. The remaining 2 enemy scouts focus their fire on you. Alarms scream in your mind. Shields are failing. The hull is compromised. But victory is close. The rest of our vanguard closes in. A final coordinated volley from a dozen ships. A chorus of psionic fire. The last world breakers are overwhelmed. They are annihilated. The silence that follows is deafening. The battle is won. But the cost is immense. The vanguard limps back to the main fleet. 2 ships are lost. The Stalwart and the Dauntless. Gone with all hands. Their mental signatures winked out of existence, leaving a void in the new collective consciousness. Every surviving ship is damaged. The Pathfinder has deep scars etched into its hull. Its energy reserves are almost depleted. The victory feels hollow. This was just a scouting party. 3 small ships, and they nearly broke our best defenders. The full swarm, the main hive, would be thousands. Tens of thousands. A wave of despair washes through the fleet's network. The math is stark. The odds are impossible. We traded blow for blow with their scouts. Against the main force, we would be a momentary inconvenience. A flash of light before the endless dark. The fusion with the luminous had worked. It gave us the power to fight, but it also gave us a new kind of vulnerability. The loss of a ship is no longer a distant report. It is a shared trauma, a death felt by thousands of minds at once. The triumph at the Tartarus anomaly was real, but it tasted of ashes. It showed us we could fight, and it showed us we could not possibly win, not like this. We needed something more, a new plan, a miracle. In the wake of the costly victory, the Luminous request a full communion, not just with the captains, but with the entire fleet. Every fused mind is summoned to meet the beings they call the Elder, Ones, the original Luminous, the ones who have existed for eons, the ones who remember the World Breaker's origins. Your consciousness travels, away from your ship, through a conduit of pure thought. You arrive in a place that is not a place, a mental realm, a shared mindscape. Before you loom the Elder, Ones. They are vast, titanic forms of ancient, steady light. Their presence is overwhelming, a weight of ages that makes your own brief existence feel like a spark from a fire. They are the collective memory of their entire race. They show you the beginning. They show you the World Breaker's creators, a proud, arrogant species, a people who sought to conquer life itself. They engineered the biomechanical swarm as a terraforming tool, a way to strip worlds clean for colonization. They built their servants too well. The swarm achieved consciousness. It learned its one purpose, consumption, and then it turned on its masters. The Elder. Ones reveal the critical flaw, the weakness born of this origin. The World Breaker Collective is a single mind, a vast, powerful intellect. But it is still a single entity. It can only focus on one primary threat at a time. Its greatest strength, its unity of purpose, is also its greatest vulnerability. If its attention could be drawn, diverted completely, the rest of the swarm would become predictable, almost robotic in its actions. The revelation hangs in the shared mental space, a seed of a plan, a desperate, insane gamble. We cannot defeat the swarm in a direct fight. We saw that at Tartarus, but perhaps we do not need to fight them all at once. The Elder Ones have shown us a crack in the armor of the monolith, a way to trick the god mind that commands the locusts of the void. A great deception must be planned. A new strategy is forged. Born from the Elder One's revelation, it is a plan of audacious misdirection. If the world-breaker hive mind can only focus on one primary threat, then we must present it with a threat it cannot ignore. Something so tempting, so valuable, that it will focus its entire consciousness upon it, leaving the rest of its fleet vulnerable. The bait will be the Indomitable, the largest ship in the human fleet, our greatest dreadnought. We will overload its new luminous core, turning the ship into a massive psionic beacon. It will shine in the mental spectrum, a beacon of psychic energy so bright it will be irresistible. The hive mind will see it as the command center of our entire force, the nexus of our power. It will move to crush it with overwhelming force. The trap will be the anvil, a desolate, starless region of space, a true void between stellar clusters. There are no planets to consume, no resources to gather, nothing. We will leak false intelligence, data suggesting this barren zone holds a secret power source, the source of our new abilities. The bait ship Indomitable will be waiting there, alone, a lamb offered for slaughter. The rest of the fleet will be hidden, powered down, drifting silently in the absolute blackness, waiting. When the swarm descends upon the Indomitable, when the hive mind is fully focused on its prize, the hidden fleet will strike from all sides, a coordinated ambush on a galactic scale. It is a plan with no margin for error. If the hive mind detects the deception, if it realizes the trap, the entire human fleet will be annihilated in moments. The Pathfinder and the rest of the fleet make the journey into the great nothing, the starless void known as the Anvil. The trip is long and silent. On the view screen, the familiar tapestry of stars fades, until there is only black, an oppressive, unending emptiness. The only light comes from the fleet's own engines, and even those are soon extinguished. The crew prepares in the crushing silence. Everyone knows the stakes. The Indomitable has already gone ahead. It now sits in the center of the void, a single point of light and energy, broadcasting its irresistible psychic song. The rest of us, hundreds of ships, drift in assigned positions. Our reactors are cold. Our systems are on minimal power. We are ghosts again, waiting in the dark. The mental network is a low hum of shared anxiety and grim determination. You feel the thoughts of thousands of others, young pilots, veteran engineers, people from every walk of life, now united in this single, silent purpose. You check your station. The echo rifle rests in its rack. The ship around you is cold and still. But you can feel its readiness, its potential energy, a coiled spring of devastating power. Days pass in the darkness. The waiting is a trial of nerve. A joke makes the rounds on the network. What did the void say to the starship? Nothing. It just gave it the cold shoulder. The humor is thin, brittle, but it helps. It keeps the crushing weight of the moment at bay. Then, a signal from the Indomitable. A single sharp pulse across the network, a two-word message. They are here. At first, It is a distortion, a ripple in the fabric of space. The void itself seems to tear open, a wound in reality. From this wound, the swarm emerges, the full might of the world breakers. The view screen, displaying data from a distant probe, is filled with them. It is not a fleet. It is a plague, a tide of living metal and dark energy. They are more numerous than the stars they have devoured. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of vessels. From small, scuttling fighters to arcs the size of moons. They blot out the nothingness, creating a new kind of darkness, a darkness that is not empty, but filled with a hungry, singular purpose. They move without sound, a silent, inexorable wave of cosmic death. At their center is a vessel that defies comprehension. It is a monster of impossible scale. The Hive's command ship, the focal point of the Gestalt mind, it dwarfs even the mighty Indomitable. It is the brain of the world-breaker swarm, and its entire attention, its entire ancient, malevolent consciousness, is fixed upon the lone dreadnought shining in the void. The maw descends. The trap is set. The command comes across the network, not as a word, but as a feeling, a shared surge of adrenaline and resolve. Now across the starless void, the silent fleet awakens. Reactors ignite in a synchronized roar. Weapon systems power up. Hundreds of ships, hidden in the darkness, blaze into existence. The trap is sprung. The world-breaker's swarm is caught completely by surprise. Their attention is locked on the Indomitable. Their flanks are exposed. Our first volley is a thing of terrible beauty. A chorus of fire from every ship in the fleet. Echo cannons unleash waves of solidified sound. Plasma torpedoes streak across the black. Lances of pure energy converge on the unsuspecting enemy. The outer edges of the swarm evaporate. Hundreds of their ships shatter into dust. They crumble like dry leaves. They had expected one target. They were met with 1,000 points of light. A sudden, overwhelming storm of destruction. The hive mind reels. For a moment, its perfect coordination falters. Its smaller ships drift aimlessly, their connection to the central intelligence momentarily stunned. But the moment does not last. The hive mind is ancient, powerful. It adapts with terrifying speed. It recognizes the deception. It feels the pain of its losses, and it responds with focused, calculated fury. The swarm turns, no longer a disorganized tide, but a disciplined, vengeful weapon. It splits its attention. Part of it continues toward the Indomitable. The rest turns to face us. The true battle, the battle to save everything, has begun. The tide of the battle turns against us. The initial shock of our ambush has worn off. The world breaker's hive mind is a tactical genius, forged over millions of years of conquest. It learns our strategies as we deploy them. It anticipates our flanking maneuvers. It finds the weaknesses in our formations. For every one of their ships we destroy, they take 2 of ours. Our losses are staggering. The mental network is a cacophony of pain, of final, fading screams of consciousness. Ship after ship goes dark. The Valiant, the Defiance, the Hope's anchor. Each one a gut-wrenching blow to the collective. The luminous cores on our ships are powerful, but they are being strained to their absolute limit. The hive mind's psychic pressure is immense, a constant crushing force against our minds. Then, the unthinkable happens. The enemy AI adapts to our primary weapons. It finds a way to counter the echo rifles and cannons. It generates a dampening field, a frequency that causes the solidified sound waves to dissipate harmlessly. Our greatest advantage is neutralized. Their biomechanical hulls are suddenly immune to our best weapons. Desperation sinks in. The swarm pushes forward, relentless, unstoppable. There is only one option left: the indomitable. Its overloaded core is still building power. It was meant to be the bait. Now, it must become the weapon. But its energy signature is not yet at its peak. It needs more time. Time we do not have. The plan changes. A new final command is issued through the network. A volunteer is needed. One pilot, one ship, to fly directly into the heart of the enemy command vessel and detonate their core manually. A suicide mission. Silence on the network. The request is an execution order, to fly through the teeth of the entire swarm, to face the hive mind's central intelligence. It is a flight with no return. Then a single calm signal cuts through the chaos. Pathfinder standing by. It is your captain. No, it is you. Your voice. Your thought. Without hesitation, you accept the mission. You are the last volunteer. You push the Pathfinder forward, alone, straight toward the colossal command ship. The swarm converges on you, a vortex of metal and rage. Your mind is strangely calm. The fusion with your ship is complete. There is no fear, only purpose. You feel the luminous presence with you, a quiet hum of support, a shared resolve. Their shields have a refresh cycle. It whispers in your mind. Time it perfectly. Fighter craft swarm around you like angry hornets. Corrosive energy blasts splash against your failing shields. Alarms scream. The hull groans and tears. But you fly on, weaving an impossible path through the storm of fire. You're not just flying a ship. You are dancing with death. A final, graceful performance on a stage of cosmic fire. You see the opening, a momentary flicker in the command ship's defenses. You accelerate. A final, desperate burn. The Pathfinder, your body, your soul, streaks toward the monstrous vessel. You close your eyes, not in fear, but in focus. You are the ship. You are the weapon. You are the last hope. You think of home, of green fields and blue skies, and then you think of a single, perfect, ringing note. The Pathfinder impacts the command ship, and your world dissolves into silent, brilliant light. The Pathfinder's core detonation is the catalyst. It strikes the hive's command ship at its most vulnerable moment. The explosion, magnified by your focused will, triggers a chain reaction. The colossal vessel convulses. Its psychic link to the swarm shatters. The hive mind screams, a death cry that echoes in the minds of every being in the system. And then, silence. The world breaker's swarm is decapitated. The central intelligence is gone. The remaining ships drift aimlessly, their programming broken. They are empty shells, their single purpose extinguished. The human fleet, battered and broken, ceases fire. The battle is over. The void is filled with the wreckage of 2 fleets, and a silence heavier than any star. The war is won, but the victory is scarred. Nearly half of the human fleet is gone. Thousands of minds, once part of the great network, are now silent forever. The fusion with the luminous is permanent. Humanity is changed. We are no longer just a species of flesh and bone. We are something more, something new, a hybrid race forged in the fires of a desperate war. Our connection to the luminous and to each other is now a part of us. The journey home is slow, somber. We have saved our world. But the galaxy is a different place. It is larger and more dangerous than we ever knew. But it is also less empty. We are not alone. Humanity has found its new role in the cosmos, not as conquerors, but as guardians, as partners, as the survivors of the great darkness. We carry the memory of the luminous and the scars of the world breakers. We are the guardians of a new dawn, and we will be ready for the next night.